So I want to just begin with Bryson. If we could, tell us, how has social media changed the PR profession in recent years?
If I don't use the microphone, can everyone in the room hear me? The back? Yes, okay. We might actually end up with a little healthy debate right off the start. I don't believe that social media has drastically changed the PR profession. To me, I think the skill set is still the same. I think the tactics are still the same. The challenges are still the same, just the vehicle is different. The medium is different. Now we don't necessarily always have to put together a full press release. Sometimes we need something in 140 characters or less that can still tell the same story. So I would actually dare to say that social media has not dramatically changed the PR landscape. I think it's made us responsible for being more transparent. I think we have to be more nimble and quick, but I think as PR and communications practitioners, that's always been required of us. We've always been the fluid function, and I think that continues with social media. Other contributions on that question?
I would agree. I think that content is most important, and I think that now with all the new developments with Twitter, Facebook, etc., it's still about the content. You just repurpose it for the different channels.
Yeah, I agree. I think you just have to be cognizant of including, pitching social media, including like brand extensions in terms of pitching social media into your campaign, but to actually just completely change the PR profession, I don't think it's that much.
Yeah, I mean, for us, and I can speak to my experience in CPG, when we develop our communications and PR programs, now it's just one more tactic that we use, one more vehicle that we communicate our message with. So, we're still starting with the same primary key messages, secondary key messages, and now we just find ways to communicate those through different environments.
Well, Jacqueline, actually for you, because you're not as sort of been through it all, I mean, there have been some changes. Have you seen anything specifically that practitioners should do differently to stay evolved as it goes on, to stay current when some of the other companies may have not stayed current and sort of dropped the ball as a result?
Sure. So with the Knot, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Knot, but the bulk of our site is generated by our community. So we have 8 out of 10 brides. There's a lot of engagement amongst brides, and they do that on the message boards. So what we've done in terms of expanding that is we actually have, a wedding application on Facebook where you can also have the conversations there on the message board there. We also have niche sites, essentially, where brides are essentially looking to speak with other brides about a specific topic. So, and actually I think that's something that is going to be the future in general, because if you're, say, hypothetically planning a loft wedding, you want to be on a board or a community of people that are specifically talking about ideas for that loft wedding, not about the countryside wedding or whatever it is. So I think in terms of the company in general, we've been really focused on, one, listening to what our brides want and what our community wants, and coming up with programs and tools that can really help them achieve that. So whether it's niche sites or applications or iPad applications, whatever it is, that's how we do it.
Bryson, social media and PR function? Is it everybody's function?
Well, I can tell you the way that we're organized. We do have a bit of a cross-functional responsibility for social media, and it depends on which medium you're looking at and how you're planning to use it. So, for example, Morris the cat has a Facebook page. He has a Twitter account. I don't tweet on behalf of Morris the cat. We have creative agencies that do that for us. You should all be fans if you're not already. Pull out your phones, look them up, Morris the cat, 9 lives. Appreciate that, thank you. And so it depends on the vehicle, it depends on the medium, depends on the message as well. When it comes to monitoring of social media, that lives within our consumer affairs group. And what we do is we have a very clear guidelines on common conversations that happen with consumers on social media websites, Facebook, Twitter especially, primarily for us, where we do have slightly heavier presence. But then bloggers is a totally different medium for us. We treat bloggers just as we do the New York Times just as we do any other traditional media. We pitch them, we develop campaigns specific for them, we develop messages. We even give an online exclusive to top bloggers over top national daytime media, for example. And that's just, so for us, there's a little bit of shared responsibility between my role in marketing. There's also my counterpart for digital marketing, and then we have shared responsibility in our corporate communications group, which handles more of our enterprise-wide responsibility and consumer affairs.
Josh, you're obviously on social media, what's your take?
Hard to hear you.
Hard to hear me?
Yeah.
Never had anybody ever say that. Thank you very much. Note to self.
Josh, your take?
For Prudential, we actually have all of our social media function housed within the global communications department. And I'll talk to it in a second when we talk about the policy, but the way that we allow or designate individuals to speak in social media or on social media on behalf of the company as brand reps or delegates or advocates for the business units. But in terms of social media monitoring, we have a function within global communications that does that for us. We have a digital media team, and part of that team is a social media monitor. So basically she monitors, we have 10 business lines at Prudential Financial, and she monitors those 10 lines, what people are saying on Facebook, on Twitter, what the case may be about a certain brand or a certain unit of the business. And then if there's news that's happening around a certain event or release, then we obviously monitor for that. And then the account teams that rep the individual business lines kind of manage their own social media how they see fit.
At the Knot specifically, we actually have a community department that manages the majority of the social media functions here. So we have like a community manager for each brand, the Knot, the Nest, weddingchannel.com, and the bump.com. And then they also manage the number of Facebook posts we have, the number of tweets that we do. Because there's so many different departments in the company that want them to tweet about this program that they're doing. I'm constantly saying, like, can you do a tweet about how we're going to be on Today's Show the next day or whatever it is. So they kind of oversee how many tweets we do, how many Facebook posts we do, because you don't ever want to bombard consumers too much too. So it's nice to have that kind of oversight as well. But for bloggers, that's something that the PR department actually does. We create the blog campaigns, Mom and Blog Awards, Wedding Blog Awards, or whatever it is. But I think specifically for us, it's good that we have this communications or community department that can monitor all of that.